October 2nd, 1967, a young woman was found dead in these woods in Fort McCoy, Florida, and her death still remains a secret to this day.
Down this road about a mile is where the two hunters found the remains.
The remains of that young woman, maybe 25 to 40 years old. Marion County Sheriff's Office detectives found evidence of a homicide amongst the bones, a fatal gunshot wound. Hundreds of hours of detective work and article after article published in the local paper. Her identity and who had killed her is all still a mystery. Letters from worried parents poured in.
They were flooded with letters at the time,
asking detectives if this body was their missing child.
We would review the letters and then send correspondence back to let them know that this was not their child or was not their family member.
With no leads in the case and no positive identification, she has gone all these years unnamed and unclaimed. A Jane Doe.
There's been books made, pages and pages of follow-ups, just trying to figure out who this lady was. Who was she?
But 48 years later, forensic artists have given her a face. The Art of Forensics, a program at the University of South Florida, brought in forensic artists from around the country to create facial reconstructions of 9 Florida cold case victims. One of those being MCSO's Jane Doe.
The idea is that we're going to put out an image of what they look like and all other information we can about the case in hopes that we can get them identified, that somebody who knows something will come forward.
A 3D print is made of each skull, which artists use to make a sculpture of the face.
And as the week goes on, you start to build up the muscles in the face, you start to examine things like the way the mandible in this particular case protruded out to show a really distinct underbite. Things like certain teeth that were missing before she died, so that's going to be something that we really want to show to the public. And then one thing that really stuck out with this case also is some hair that was found with the remains. So we know that she had short curly hair that was bleached and it had a reddish tint to it. Once we start to work on this, have the muscles sculpted, start to build up the facial features, it gets to a point after the 3rd or 4th day where there's a face staring back at you, and that's when you know that you're doing something that could possibly get this person identified.
Thanks to newer technology, a DNA profile of this Jane Doe has been recently developed. It can be compared to a potential family member to determine her true identity.
We take a very proactive stance towards cold cases, and I think that that's been our success. That's why we've been so successful in the past with cold cases, and we're going to continue to be successful, taking the proactive stance towards these cases and doing everything we can to try to come up with a solution.
If you have any information about this case or know who she might be, please call the Marion County Crime Stoppers at 352-368-STOP or call Sergeant Clint Smith at 352-732-9111.